Trick or treat and welcome to the Baron's Game Room. Yeah, I'm Aaron as always, and yes, I realized I should have been wearing this shirt last week. Sorry. Anyway, I was originally going to do this game later this month and do a different game this week, but I need a short video, so let's get on with this one. Today, we're talking about Fright. Fright is a game for 2 to 5 players for ages 8 and up, plays in about 30 minutes, and that all seems about right. My connection to this game is actually, I was made aware of it because one of the designers is the uncle of one of my high school friends. I believe it's the Jeff Peters one. He's got a few Guinness World Records for like old video game stuff. But anyway, let's get on with this game. In Fright, you and your friends have decided to go explore the creepy haunted house down the street, and while there, you've decided to also start playing little pranks on each other. So, between your friends and the actual ghost haunting this place, you were trying to be the last player left alive since everyone else is trying to scare you to death. Now, when I say left alive, it's going to make you instantly think of player elimination, but funny enough, this game actually does not have player elimination. See, if you are scared to death, you simply go from being a living player to a ghost player, and then there are new rules for the ghost player winning the game. But let's get the setup. For setup, make sure each player has one of these tombstones and all these attached scare tokens on it. Make sure that everyone has one of these cool dice here. Shuffle up the Fright deck, place it on the center of the table, and then let's get to the gear up phase. At the start of the game, deal 1 card out for every player. Then, every player is going to roll a die to figure out which order everyone gets to grab one of these cards to start the game with. While there are several effects, there are 2 types of cards you can have. Cards that are played during the scare phase, and cards that are played during the rolling phase. Once everyone has their 1 card, it's time to start those 2 little phases I just talked about. During the roll phase, every player rolls their die and compares them to see who wins. But it's not just highest roll wins. See, it's standard high number wins, but if there are doubles, then the 2 players that roll doubles win. Same for triples, and then if you have 2 sets of doubles, then it's whoever rolled the lowest set of doubles ends up winning. I don't know why, this is how it works. I also think they clarify somewhere else in the rulebook that if you have 4 people all roll the same thing, that it's just like the doubles and the triples. They win, the one person loses. Now, if anyone has any of those cards that are played during the roll phase, this will be the time to play it. They can affect what other players' dice are or your own. But assuming all those have already been resolved or weren't played at all, and this is the final one, then whoever the winner, or in this case, winners, are, get to be the scarers in the next phase. During the scare phase, any player that won that little roll phase gets to select another player to scare. If you are scared, you will remove 1 scare token from your tombstone and simply set it off to the side. If you have multiple winners, like in this case, each player could choose to scare different people, or could both scare the same. This is the phase in which you can play those blue cards. Some of those will end up, causing their own scares, or redirecting scares, or so on and such, and things like that. But getting scared isn't all that bad, because every time you get scared, you get to draw a Fright card and add it to your hand. If at the end of any round, all of your scare tokens have been removed from your tombstone, you've officially been scared to death, and you are now a ghost player. Now, ghost players no longer participate in the die rolling anymore, but ghost players can still play out any Fright cards they still have in their hand. As players go back and forth from rolling dice to scaring each other, if at the end of any round there's only 1 player left with any scare tokens left on their tombstone, then they are the only player left alive, and thus they are the winner of the game. However, it is completely possible to have a round end where all the players have been scared to death just by either the die rolls or by the Fright cards being played. In this situation, the rules say that the ghost win the game. I assume that means everyone but the player that was last killed. Now, you heard me say assume there, because honestly, these rules can be a little vague sometimes. At some points, I can tell it's because they kinda just don't want to get too muddy with the details, and they sort of just want to let the group do whatever they think is fun. But there definitely are some times where if your group, really wants those hard answers, you're just not going to find them. Personally, with our house, the way we play is, whenever all players get scared to death by the end of the game. Whichever player ended up being the one that actively scared the last living person to death, that specific ghost is the winner. House rule for us. But yeah, that's really the game. It's very simple, it's very family friendly, it's very quick. It can be a lot of backstabbing like going on, so it can be really fun if you're into that kind of thing. Again, there are some issues in the rules that they can be a little vague and all that. Also keep in mind that all the rules I've given you are for 3 to 5 player games. There are special rules for 2 to players that I'm not getting into in this video. I do have fun with it. I can definitely see how for some people it might be a little too simplistic and all that, and as I said, we've dealt with our own frustration on some of the vagueness in the rules, but if you can push your way through that, I think you'll have a pretty decent time. As far as components are concerned, they are just above and beyond. I mean, these things are fantastic. I love the tombstones, they're so weighty and all that. I absolutely love these like stony dice that it comes with. This is definitely where I think the best part of this game is in its presentation. The board looks pretty cool and all that. The cards look nice. Now this thing is wholly unnecessary. It's a little like phase tracker. You're supposed to flip it back and forth when you're in the scare phase and when you're in the dice phase. It's more fiddly than useful. We never really use it, but I put it on the board for this review. If you're looking for a spooky, silly, lighthearted, fast-paced, chaotic little family game, yeah, it'll definitely do the trick. For that reason, it's Baron approved. Oh, that's weird. I mean, okay. Not quite what I'm looking for. Hey, this kinda looks like the ghost guy from the game. Y'all, these filters suck this year.